The kid behind the counter, 23, cocky, grew up on video games, looked at the old man's weathered hands and smirked. "Sir, these aren't Call of Duty guns. They kick hard, need steady hands." But when the shop owner walked out and saw Jack Sullivan at his counter, a legend who'd made a confirmed kill at 2,847 yards in Fallujah, the kid would learn the difference between playing soldier and being one. Precision Arms, Tuesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. The gun shop sat on Route 9, 40 miles outside the city. Wood paneling, glass cases, rifles mounted like trophies, the smell of gun oil and leather. A place where men talked ballistics and MOA, where respect was earned, not given. Jack Sullivan walked in quietly. 71, worn Carhartt jacket, faded jeans, work boots, wire-rimmed glasses, white hair cut military short out of habit. He moved with economy, no wasted motion, the way men move when they've spent a lifetime being precise. Behind the counter stood Kyle Brennan, 23, fresh out of community college with a criminal justice degree he'd never use, tactical pants bought online, tight black t-shirt showing gym-built arms. He had opinions, mostly about things he'd never done. "Help you?" Kyle said, not looking up from his phone. Instagram. Pictures of ARs with Magpul furniture. "I'd like to see the Remington 700, Jack said, voice quiet, gravelly. Kyle looked up, sized him up. Old guy. Probably wants something for deer season. "Which model?" "The SPS Tactical, .308 Winchester." Kyle's eyebrows went up. "That's a serious rifle, sir. Not really a beginner's gun." "I'm aware." "It's got a 20-inch heavy barrel, kicks like a mule, weighs almost 9 pounds unloaded." Kyle leaned on the counter, condescending. "Most guys your age want something lighter, maybe a .243, less recoil, easier to handle." Jack didn't respond, just waited. Kyle sighed, walked to the rack, pulled down the rifle, set it on the counter with less care than it deserved. "Here. But honestly, Gramps, these aren't toys. This is a precision weapon. You need steady hands, good eyes, muscle memory." "I understand." "Do you? Because I see a lot of guys come in here, watch YouTube videos, think they're Carlos Hathcock, then they can't hit paper at 100 yards. Jack picked up the rifle. His hands moved with practiced ease. Checked the chamber. Empty. Good. Worked the bolt. Smooth. Seated it against his shoulder. Sight picture. Breathing. Trigger discipline. All automatic. Muscle memory built over 3 decades. Kyle watched with amusement. "You hunt much?" "Some." "Ever shot long range? Real long range? Past 500 yards? "Once or twice." "Yeah, well, it's harder than it looks. Wind, elevation, Coriolis effect. There's a reason they call it precision shooting." Kyle crossed his arms, smug. "Takes years to get good. Most guys are just okay." Jack handed the rifle back. "What's the price?" $650, plus tax. But maybe you want to start with something—" "I'll take it." Kyle blinked. "You sure? You haven't asked about the scope. You'll need good glass. Probably another $800. Loopholed, vortex, and rings, a bipod." "The Loophold Mark IV, 6.5 to 20 times 50. Mil-dot reticle. Standard rings. I have the rest. Kyle stared. The old man knew his equipment, but knowing names didn't mean he could shoot. All right, Kyle said, pulling out paperwork. I'll need your ID, background check. You ever filled out a 4473? Yes. Fair warning, this isn't the gun you just buy and shoot. You need to sight it in, zero it, learn its quirks. Every rifle's different. A middle-aged man browsing nearby chuckled. Another customer, younger, wearing a veteran's ball cap, glanced over. Jack handed over his license. Kyle typed it in, ran the background check. While they waited, he kept talking. So, what are you hunting? Deer? Elk? Targets. Oh, you're a range guy. Which range? Private land. Nice. You compete? Used to. Like what, local competitions? 3-gun? Long-range precision. Kyle laughed. No offense, sir, but that's a young man's game. You need reflexes, steady hands. I shoot USPSA. I'm ranked in my division. The background check came back. Approved. Kyle printed the paperwork. Sign here and here. Jack signed. Neat. Precise. Kyle processed payment. Bagged the rifle. You want the scope mounted and bore-sighted? We charge $40. I'll do it myself. You sure? It's tricky. Torque specs matter. Over-tighten and you'll warp the rings. I'm sure. Kyle shrugged, handed over the bag. All right, good luck. Seriously, start at 100 yards. Don't try to be a hero. Jack took the bag, turned to leave. That's when the back door opened. Tom Reyes, the owner, walked out from the range. 58, former Army, Desert Storm. He'd owned Precision Arms for 20 years, carrying a target, fresh holes. He looked up, saw Jack at the counter. Stopped dead. The target fell from his hands.
Jack? Tom Reyes's voice cracked. Not with age, with disbelief. Jack turned, looked at the owner. Recognition flickered. Tom! Jack Sullivan? Tom stepped forward, his face pale. It's really you. Kyle looked between them, confused. You two know each other? Tom ignored him, staring at Jack like he'd seen a ghost. What are you doing here? I thought you were in Montana. I am, visiting family. Granddaughter lives nearby. Tom laughed, short, sharp. You just bought a Remington 700? That's right. From Kyle? Yes. Tom turned to his employee. The easy-going shop owner was gone. What remained was a soldier. Kyle, Tom said slowly, do you have any idea who you just sold that rifle to? Kyle shrugged, defensive. Some old guy who knows his scopes. So what? Tom picked up the fallen target, walked to the counter. The grouping was tight. 5 shots within 2 inches at 300 yards. See this? My best group today. I was bragging to myself. He looked at Jack. You want to tell him? Or should I? Jack said nothing, just stood there, calm. Tom turned to Kyle. This is Jack Sullivan, gunnery sergeant, United States Marine Corps. Retired 2015 after 32 years. Marine, scout, sniper. He has more confirmed kills over 1,000 yards than you've taken shots at paper. Kyle's smirk faltered. Okay, so he was a sniper. Not a sniper. The sniper. Tom's voice rose. Longest confirmed kill in Marine Corps history? 2,527 yards. Second place? 2,515 yards. Want to know third? Kyle was silent. Tom pointed at Jack. 2,847 yards. Fallujah, November 2004. During the second battle, insurgent sniper pinned down an entire platoon. 3 dead, 7 wounded. Air support couldn't get visual. They called Jack. The middle-aged customer had stopped browsing, listening now. The younger vet moved closer. 1 shot, Tom continued. Wind 18 miles per hour, gusting, dust storm. Visibility 40%. Target on a rooftop. Moving. Jack set up, made calculations. Squeezed. 2,847 yards. Over 1.5 miles. Round traveled 6 seconds. Dropped 535 feet. Perfect headshot. Kyle's face went from smug to pale. You know what Jack did after? Packed up, walked down to that platoon, helped carry the wounded, stayed with them, like he'd just made a routine shot. Tom looked at Jack. They wanted to give you the Navy Cross. You turned it down. Jack shrugged. I was doing my job. 3 national championships, Tom continued. 1998, 2003, 2009. Camp Perry. 1,000-yard competitions. Beat professionals, Olympic marksmen. Guys half his age with custom rifles. The younger vet stepped forward. Excuse me, sir. Are you Long Shot Sullivan? Jack nodded once. The vet saluted, sharp. Sir, my brother served under you. 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines. He said you were the best. Jack returned the salute. What's your brother's name? Corporal James Martinez, sir. I remember Jimmy. Good Marine. How's he doing? Good, sir. Runs a construction company. Has 2 kids. Tells them long shot stories at bedtime. Jack smiled. Small. Brief. Tell him I said hello. Kyle was frozen behind the counter. The rifle he'd condescendingly handed to Jack sat there, mocking him. Tom walked around, put a hand on Kyle's shoulder. Not gentle. You told this man he needed steady hands. You suggested a .243 because of recoil. You compared him to YouTube experts. I didn't know. That's the point. You didn't know. You saw an old man and made assumptions. Tom's voice dropped. There's a reason we teach respect. Because the guy who looks like nobody might be somebody. He turned to Jack. The rifle's on the house. The scope, too. Jack shook his head. I'll pay full price. Jack. Full price, Tom. I don't need charity. Tom nodded. All right. But you shoot here free. Range time, ammunition, whatever you want. Appreciate it. Kyle found his voice. Barely. Sir, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... Jack looked at him, those calm eyes. You're young. You'll learn. Respect isn't about what you can see. It's about what you can't. Next time, ask questions before you make judgments.
He picked up his bag, turned to leave. The middle-aged customer spoke up. "Mr. Sullivan, can I buy you a coffee? I'd love to hear about Camp Perry." Jack paused, nodded. "Sure." As they walked out, Kyle stood behind the counter, deflated, humiliated. Tom looked at him. "You just got a free education." The coffee shop was 2 doors down. Small place, local, not a chain. Jack and the middle-aged man, whose name was Robert Chin, sat by the window. Robert had bought 2 coffees, black, no sugar, the way men from a certain generation drank it. "I was at Camp Perry in 2003, Robert said. "I didn't compete, just watched. You shot a 218X in the long-range match. I've never seen anything like it." Jack sipped his coffee. "Good conditions that day. Wind was steady. Steady for you, maybe. Everyone else was struggling. The wind flags were all over the place." Robert leaned forward. "I remember the guy next to you, some hotshot from the Army Marksmanship Unit, custom rifle, thousands of dollars in equipment. He shot a 195. You beat him by 5 points with a stock Remington 700 and factory ammunition. He was a good shooter. He was furious. I heard him complaining afterward, said it wasn't fair, that you had an advantage." Robert smiled. "What advantage? You had the same wind, same range, same targets." Jack shrugged. He was young. Hadn't learned yet that equipment only gets you so far. After that, it's all skill and experience. That's what my son doesn't understand. He's 25, thinks he needs the latest gear. Carbon fiber this, titanium that. I keep telling him the fundamentals matter more. They do, but let him learn. Some lessons you can't teach. You have to live them." Robert nodded, sipped his coffee. "Can I ask you something? About Fallujah? The 2,847-yard shot." Jack was quiet, his eyes distant. Not uncomfortable, just remembering. "What do you want to know?" "How do you make that shot? I mean, really. How do you account for everything? The drop, the wind, the curvature of the earth at that distance?" Jack set down his cup. "You don't think about all of it at once. You break it down. Distance first. Elevation. The round's going to drop over 500 feet. You account for that with your scope adjustment and your holdover. Then wind. At that distance, even a 5-mile-per-hour wind will push your round several feet. You read the flags, the mirage, the dust. You make your best guess. And the Coriolis effect? At 2,847 yards, it matters. The Earth's rotation. In the northern hemisphere, it pushes the round to the right, maybe 8 inches at that distance. You account for it in your windage. And then you just shoot? No, then you wait. You breathe. You let your heart rate settle. You become part of the rifle, part of the round. You're not forcing anything. You're just allowing it to happen." Robert leaned back, amazed. "And you did all that while a platoon was pinned down, taking fire?" "I did what I was trained to do, what I'd done 100 times before." Jack's voice was matter-of-fact. No pride, no false modesty, just stating facts. The kid at the shop, Kyle, he didn't know. He's young, he'll learn, or he won't. Either way, it's his path. You're kinder than I'd be. He disrespected you. He disrespected an old man. He didn't know who I was. Can't blame him for that." Jack finished his coffee.
But maybe now he'll think twice. Maybe he'll ask questions before making assumptions. If he learns that, then today was worth it. Back at Precision Arms, Kyle was alone behind the counter. The shop was empty. Slow afternoon. He kept replaying the encounter in his mind. The way Tom had looked at Jack. The way that veteran had saluted. The way Jack had stood there, calm, unbothered. No ego. No need to prove anything. Kyle pulled out his phone, Googled Jack Sullivan, Marine Sniper. The results were immediate. Articles, forums, a Wikipedia entry. Photographs from Camp Perry showing a younger Jack holding trophies. A Marine Corps Times article about the Fallujah shot. Testimonials from Marines he'd served with. One quote stood out, from a lieutenant colonel who'd commanded Jack's unit. Gunnery Sergeant Sullivan was the kind of Marine you build a corps around. Humble, professional, deadly effective. He never sought glory. He just did his job better than anyone I've ever seen. Kyle set down his phone, felt sick. He'd talked down to a legend. Treated him like an ignorant old man. Suggested a lighter rifle. Mocked his ability. The door chimed, a customer. Kyle looked up, put on his professional face. But inside, he was different now. Changed. Some lessons you pay for in money. Others you pay for in pride. Kyle had just gotten an expensive education, and he'd never forget it. 2 weeks later, Kyle was restocking ammunition when the door chimed. Jack Sullivan, walking in with a cardboard box. Kyle's stomach dropped. Tom had made him watch Camp Perry videos, made him read Marine Sniper doctrine, made him understand who he'd disrespected. "Mr. Sullivan," Kyle said, voice tight, "can I help you?" Jack set the box on the counter. "Came to return something." Kyle opened it. Inside was the Remington 700, scope mounted perfectly, and beneath it, a target. The holes were so close together they'd almost formed a single opening. At the bottom, 600 yards, Federal gold medal match, 168 grains. First cold bore, X-ring, 5-shot group, 0.847 MOA. Kyle stared. "This is from the rifle I sold you?" "Yes. 0.847 MOA at 600 yards. Kyle's best was over 2 MOA on a perfect day. Wind was calm." Kyle looked at the grouping. Professional shooters struggled to get half that. "Mr. Sullivan, I wanted to apologize. Properly. I was out of line." "You were. I've been thinking about what you said. About respect." Kyle swallowed. "Can I ask you something now?" "Go ahead." "How do you do it?" "I practice twice a week, watch videos, study ballistics, but I can't get close." Jack pulled up a stool. "You want the real answer or the easy one?" "The real one. It's not about the rifle. It's about patience, discipline, repetition. Thousands of hours doing the same thing until it's not thinking. It's just doing." Kyle listened. "When I started, I was like you, cocky. My instructor was an old Korean War vet, Gunnery Sergeant Harold Price, sniper at Chosin. He handed me a rifle. 'Shoot that target at 300 yards. I missed. Again. Missed. Again. Missed.
I shot 100 rounds that day, missed 97. What did he say? He said, "Good. Now you know you don't know anything. Tomorrow, we start teaching you." I spent 6 months shooting every day, same drills, over and over, until my body knew what to do before my brain did. But that was decades ago. Don't your hands shake now? My hands are steadier than yours. Jack held out his right hand, perfectly still. You know why? Because I don't fight it. I just am stable. Muscle memory, neural pathways built over 30 years. Tom had walked out from the back, listening. "And the eyes?" Kyle asked. "My eyes are 71. I wear reading glasses, but at distance, they're fine, because I've trained them. Thousands of hours looking through scopes. Your eyes are 23, but you're on your phone 8 hours a day. Your focus is shot." Kyle felt the truth. Constantly on his phone. Instagram, TikTok, forums. Tired by noon. "You asked how I shoot like this. I don't check my phone at the range. I don't take selfies. I don't post groups. I just shoot. I focus. That's the difference. We knew how to be bored, how to wait, how to do one thing for hours without distraction." Tom nodded. Different era, different war, same lessons. "I'm sorry, Mr. Sullivan. You were wrong about what you could see, but you couldn't see what mattered. Experience, discipline, dedication. Those don't show on the outside. They're earned over decades. You'll get there, if you put in the work." Jack stood, picked up the box. "Keep the target. Hang it in the shop. Remind yourself that respect is earned, not assumed." He turned to Tom. "Good seeing you again." "You too, Jack. Sticking around?" "Few more days, then back to Montana. Come by before you leave. New range, extended to 1,000 yards. Jack smiled. Small. "I'll do that." He walked out. Gone. Kyle stood behind the counter, holding the target. .847 MOA at 600 yards. Stock rifle. Factory ammunition. Tom walked over. "You learned something today." "Yeah." "Good. Some men go their whole lives without learning it. You're young. Use it wisely." Kyle looked at the target. "I will." Some legends walk quiet. Some heroes look ordinary. And some of the deadliest men alive buy rifles from kids who don't know any better. Jack Longshot Sullivan, Gunnery Sergeant, USMC, retired. Still the best shot most people would never know. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe for more stories that prove respect isn't about what you see. It's about what you earn.